everybody, welcome to the kitchen part 1. Now, normally when people do videos on TV, this is a bit of a pet peeve. Is this a pet peeve for you?
Well, it's just a little unrealistic. So I think we've all watched the Reno shows on TV where within either 30 or 22 minutes or an hour, they have magically transformed a space from one thing to something great, which is great because we don't all have very long attention spans. However, in real life, that is not how it goes, and especially when we're in a foreign country.
Yeah, we are doing this ourselves for the most part, and we're on a pretty tight budget, so it's not like we can bring in 20 workers and get something done in a week or 2 weeks. So probably lots of you would love to see the start to, progress start to finish in one episode. It's not going to happen. We spent the better part of 45 days working on this, and we're barely half done.
It's called delayed gratification.
Yeah, but you'll get to see the process, and we may have made a lot of progress. So enjoy the video, and here we go.
Welcome to the day 1 of Reno. So, we're finally in the kitchen, and we're measuring for tile. It's going to be good. We're going to go with this limestone stack kind of look, so it looks like it might be old. And what do we find as we go over to this area where we're going to have that whole appliance wall? Is we find out, Rob's trying to demo thinking, oh, this will be really quick before we run to the store for tile. And what do we find, honey?
Well, first we had one good surprise and one bad surprise. The good surprise.
So we went down here and opened the cabinet and noticed Rob lifted this up.
It looks like a tunnel or something. Maybe it's the long lost tunnel.
Maybe it is.
There's an arch. There's arches.
I know.
It looks like it's
so
old.
It's interesting.
And then we decided to, we found a bad surprise.
We did. We wanted to demo this whole thing, and you found
it's concrete.
We already cubed this up.
It's made of concrete. So
if you can imagine,
this guy's not going to get it done. We're going to have to go in for reinforcements. And we found some reinforcements, a big sledgehammer. Now, I want to tell you, I'm 50, I'm a little bit out of shape, I'm not a model, but I can still hit concrete.
You did the job.
Yeah, that's the good news. So this was reinforced concrete. The top and the middle arms were actually pretty easy. They came out pretty good because they're not against anything. But when we got to the outside, oh my goodness, it was cemented right into the back wall. So it was really tough. In fact, we had to use get a little air chisel, which was probably underpowered, and
it was slow, but it worked.
That was the biggest piece that came off. Like usually it was just little tiny pieces.
It was really good for tile.
Yeah,
that ripped off real fast.
Sometimes it came off like that, and sometimes it came off like this.
Well, they used extra adhesive.
Yeah, so I think it was like 8 carloads of maybe 80 or 90
buckets.
pails.
Very heavy buckets
of rubble.
Yeah,
we got it out though, so that's the good news.
Guess what came? Right on schedule, even a little early. We got our 2 fridges, and we've got 2 stoves. We're just opening it now. Take a little look-see. He's pretty. So you might be wondering, why 2 stoves? Why 2 fridges? Well, in Europe, now maybe I just haven't adapted yet, and that maybe. However, when I'm cooking for 20 or more people, I need big pans. And in Europe, the ovens have little cavities with little tiny pans as options. And I don't know how many pans of something I will need to possibly have in order to get that done. So I went with the biggest kind of range I could find. They're actually Falcons, which I'm excited about. They seem fantastic. And I ended up buying 2. So instead of the 20,000 or 15,000 really big double ones that are gorgeous, but that is not in the budget for that. So we're giving us a look of that and the functionality of that without the big, huge price tag. So yeah, I think it'll be good.
And with the appliances there, it was time to do some work with tile. Now, again, when you're tiling over tile, you don't want, you want it to be able to grab on. And so,
isn't that nice?
yeah, it's a little bit of tradition.
Honey.
So what we wanted to do is we wanted to etch the tile a little bit so it would grab on. And we went to Leroy Merlin or Leroy Merlin.
I don't know. Yeah.
Home Depot store, and we bought $3,000 worth of tile and grout. It was big and spendy.
It was. So the tile I chose actually kind of has a limestone look, sort of like in other parts of the basement in the Chateau. They have, those big, long, narrow
blocks.
Yeah, blocks, which is what the castle was probably made out of. And so I was wanting to try to mimic that without pulling down all the plaster that existed and found it underneath.
it just made more sense to reinforce than pull apart.
So it's new, but it kind of throws back to the original.
It does.
Most of our rooms we're trying to stay period, but the kitchen is going to be a little bit. It's going to feel old, but it's going to be new
We'll
stuff.
try. Yeah, we're gonna try.
All right, so here we go. We're got some tiling shots here. Lots of mixing of grout. I don't know, maybe 20 or 30 bags. Now, don't judge me too hard on my technique here. I'm holding a camera while I'm doing this. So we did back butter the tiles. So I put some grout on the thin set on the tile and also on the wall, and that made for a real nice hold. So all that said, tough job.
Yeah,
Weeks?
it took you forever.
3 weeks maybe of your hands, in the cold, lots of cuts.
Well, the ceilings are how tall?
Oh man, almost nine and a bit feet.
So they're not short by any stretch.
No.
And there's long expanses, and there's a lot of cuts around windows and whatnot. So it takes time, no question. And he's all by himself. So.
And you can see too, there's all kinds of pipes and weird wires.
Radiators.
We'll clean some of that stuff up as we go, but right now some of it's gonna stay. So especially some of those electrical wires in the ceiling, which we'll take a
every
look
time
at.
we do some more electrical, we're trying to clean up old wires and get them out of there.
So here's some water to wash off the grout, and yeah, I left that outside overnight. That's what she looks like.
It was a little chilly.
Yeah, surprisingly, really though, the basement stays pretty warm. It's the basement, a lot of times it was about 10 Celsius, maybe, what is that, 50-ish Fahrenheit. I think the house, the thermal mass keeps it warm, plus the heat comes out of the ground. So I was actually quite pleased with how warm for January and December.
It's true.
Yeah.
And that's without stoves on.
Right.
We don't really have electrical, like lights in there yet.
We had no heat in the room. And we started on the floor.
Yeah, well, someone got a little bit.
Yeah, I should have, here I should have put cardboard down earlier. I learned my mistake after the first day because we had to scrape everything off. That was tough. We're leaving the floor for now.
Yeah, so the floor's from the 80s, retro's in, right? So, and maybe at some point we'll change that out. We just didn't have time to do a complete gut job. So, I actually don't mind it, honestly. The squares are coming back, by the way. So, I think it's fine. The colors all work together. It'll be good.
That works. And then the door wasn't quite shutting. It was too tight, so we had to pop it off, and some unpleasant noise for you here. Just saw it off, just maybe half a centimeter on the bottom. And that was more than enough. And
so, as you can imagine, after 30 years, everything's a little dirty down there. So I thought I need to wash before I can paint. That's how black that little bit of washing was on the door.
You'll remember a little while back we went to a Brocon, we shot a video, and we found two of these.
Yeah, these really pretty pediments with some monogram. I love monograms.
Yeah, and this is incredible. LC for Leslie's Cuisine. Leslie Chateau, not sure. So we have a big one, and this is going to be fantastic. I'm so excited about this.
What are we going to do? Fun. The big one I'm going to maybe use as the top of the pediment for the range hood over the ovens. And the other one's much smaller, and so maybe we'll do that about the doorway or something like that. They're just very, very sweet.
So we'll build a really cool molding on the door, probably on the way out. It'd be nice to do it on the way in, but it's kind of a mess, the hall, so you lose the effect. Yeah. So we'll put that at the top of the door and we'll build it in with molding. Incredible. And then, the big one, I can't wait to see that.
It'll be fun. I'm not sure we're going to get the range hood done really quickly, but it'll happen at some point.
Yeah, at some point. So there's the tile on the wall. It does kind of look like the old castle.
It's not bad. It's pretty good. So, and it cleans up everything, makes everything feel clean and new. And so this is how the elevation of that one wall is going to lay out, flanked with fridges on each side. And then that space with no tile, I'm planning on, that's where the range hood and everything is going to go. And
also a backsplash.
Backsplash tile.
What are you going to do with the backsplash?
I don't know yet. It's a bit of a creative moment we can have in there. And so I have a number of ideas. I really like brown transferware, which is kind of like that blue and white dishes, except it's brown and cream. So maybe I'll try to find some cool vintage tile or something like that from the era. But because that's not like you can just go to the store and go buy tile, that may take a little time to find and gather and enough to fill. That's quite a large space to try to organize.
So you've had a really creative idea as an alternative. What is it?
So maybe in the meantime, until I can find what I want, I think I might do a mural. So there's some gorgeous, in France, mural wallpaper that are always hand painted and stuff like that. And if I'm able to find someone that could do me a piece that would fit in that spot, I might insert that and then cover with glass and I think it could be kind of
Yeah,
cool.
that's interesting.
So, we'll see. I don't know. Maybe I'll find tile. I don't know. We'll find out.
And again, here you can see some tile on the wall that hasn't been grouted, so you see the lines a little better. Boy, that took a long time. Now, we did have a couple pieces from the kitchen that were originally in the Chateau and taken over to the restaurant, and we decided to repatriate those.
Yes.
Yeah, so we grabbed that sink.
Yeah, and it does fit perfectly, and the holes in the wall fit exactly where they did originally. So that would have been in this exact spot when they had the catering kitchen.
You're wanting to upgrade the tap.
Oh yeah.
Eventually.
For sure.
But it was amazing. Like, it's just, you plug it there, and it's like, well, that fits completely correctly. Yeah, obviously I haven't put adhesive on there or whatever, ABS cement. No. But we're just giving you the idea. And then this beauty.
So this was the dishwasher unit in the restaurant, and again, there was always a room in the basement that we thought this feels like it probably was a dish kind of room. And then we disassemble this whole thing and take it back over to the house and find out also all the drill holes in the wall also fit perfectly. So this clearly was in that room, and it hopefully will come back there.
Perfect match. By the way, I'm just faking it here. You could see I was just faking that because I'm doing it with one hand. So clearly you need two hands to do the electrical, and I wasn't really.
Yeah, no.
Then we went to Ikea. We went to Ikea and.
So Ikea has cabinets and usually in stock. So this was my fallback for that kind of thing. Would it have been great to have antiques through the whole place? Sure. But again, that takes time to find, and we're on a time frame to get the kitchen functional so that we can have visitors soon. So
we got some Ikea cabinets, actually 6 or 7 of those carts, if you can imagine.
Yeah.
I know sometimes they don't fit completely, so you have to do a little bit of work to get them in there with some of the pieces, but we're getting them in there, and I think they're gonna be good.
I think so, yeah. So again, had to wash all the windows, also equally black and dirty, but giving them a little lick of paint, that's cleaning up. There were some holes in the floor.
Yeah, no, I'm really happy about this. We are in disagreement on this point. This was originally all broken out. You can see the pipes. It went down about a foot. It was just a mess, and obviously the piece of furniture can't sit there. So what are we going to do with it? Leslie wanted me to build a wood thing to go across. Eventually, we'll probably put tile there when we retile. But we had to do something, and so I was able to convince you, or maybe I didn't convince her, to put sand. Because then it goes in and it compacts and it doesn't break the pipes. And if we ever need to get down there again, we can. And it actually matches. So I think it's great, but you think...
Well, I don't know if any of you remember our little dog, Mr. Bingley, but I think when we bring him this next time and he gets with us some sand, he's going to be doing this.
Yeah.
So I don't really want that. So maybe we'll nestle in a remnant tile or
we'll figure something out. So anyways, back to the island. It's looking like a mess. We start building pieces. And of course we realized that there are some gas and some water points and electrical points. We were wondering, we didn't want to blow up the house. We could see that the gas just came from it wasn't connected to a system. It was just a pipe outside. But I gave it a smell just in case so we didn't have an explosion. And so we cut that bad boy off for now. We don't need gas in the island. And
no, we don't.
But we do need water because we don't have a sink there.
Yeah. So there was water points there already, which was great. So I figured, let's sneak a little sink in there. I don't usually need a sink in my island, but I figured it could be helpful, and it's already right there, so let's use it.
And lots of electrical too, so that'll be great. We'll have some outlets on each side. It's a huge island, like 8 feet by 4 feet.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
2.4 meters by 1.2, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Something like that. And we'll get that all figured out.
Yeah, it's gonna hold lots of good stuff. It's gonna be great.
So we're making progress.
We are. So there was couple little extra pieces outside of IKEA cabinets. I really like the concept of unfitted kitchens. Fitted means everything's built in and everything's tight. And often you'll find in the old kitchens that they just had sort of random pieces of furniture, which made sense. And so I kind of wanted to incorporate that a little bit into this space, mostly because it helps bring in that old world kind of vibe. And I just think they're cuter. So we did a little bit of a combo of both, having IKEA cabinets and some pieces. So that one piece at the back where you see by the sink is actually called a bibliothèque, which is basically a bookcase here. And it's new, but it kind of looks old. And I think it's gonna be super cute to hold platters and a whole bunch of great little things. And then the other piece I have is on that other wall that we had seen. Yeah,
which we'll come around to momentarily.
Yeah.
By the way, when you watch, some of this a little bit of this footage here is from a Facebook Live, and several of you commented that you couldn't hear Leslie because, of course, I'm standing right next to the phone, making lots of noise. So we fixed that. We bought a mic. Yay! Celebrate with us, friends. and that situation will
Thank you
get
for
better.
that.
But for now, we're talking over it.
So our other piece was the piece that we had found when we were at a brocante, and it has a top piece that goes over that as well. But again, it has that nice warm wood. It has nostalgia all over it, and I think it's going to be adorable.
I love this piece, and we got it. This is insane. Was it 100 euro?
Mm-hmm.
It was 100 euro for this.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? 100 euro, ladies and gentlemen.
Solid wood.
Solid wood, beautiful.
Keys for every door.
Yeah, like 6 or we asked him about the
ridiculous.
keys. We asked the gentleman about the keys, and he comes back with like 6 or 7 keys,
Oh
one
my
for each lock.
good
We're like,
heavens.
wow, that's generous.
That's a lot.
Yeah, we love these guys. Where are they? Beaufort?
Yeah, Beaufort en Valais.
Yeah, am I saying that correctly? Great brocante if you're in France. Go check that out.
He's great.
All kinds of stuff. We bought a bunch from them, and it
So,
just fits perfectly.
It does within just a fraction. So
Yeah.
it was great. We're excited to have that.
So that'll be terrific.
Hmm.
Last kind of thing. So we got the sink there in place, looking beautiful. Also, we have right next to the sink, we have the original walk-in cooler.
Well,
Original, I shouldn't say original.
The 80s.
1980s, 1990s.
the catering kitchen
Yeah.
walk-in cooler, which is cool.
Yeah.
It doesn't work right now because the ceiling is not in good repair.
It's under the terrace, so the water is leaking into it, and it's kind of musty smell, and we don't think the cooler works.
We don't know,
No, I
but
suppose you
we're
don't.
expecting it doesn't work.
So for now, we're not going to use it. But
So maybe someday
maybe
that'll
someday.
be awesome.
Yeah.
Meantime, if we can just get it a little drier, I might put my freezer in there.
Yeah.
Maybe eventually it could be a pantry. I don't know. We'll find out when we investigate that farther. But it
Good
all
storage.
takes time to investigate.
And then finally, our electrician, Jeremy, fantastic guy, and he's
Yes.
doing a really nice job. Take a look there. You can see I asked him if he wouldn't mind running the wire, because of course all our tile's in already, so we don't want to dig through that. And he's just run it underneath the tile, and we'll put a baseboard covering that, and I found a really nice piece there. I'm quite pleased with it.
So we're seeing light at the end of the tunnel. Very exciting. We're starting to see the bones take shape. And I'm getting excited because we're starting to get finally the boring-ish stuff done, the foundation done, so that we can start doing the cool stuff.
Yeah, it was so hard to leave because we were just at the stage where we're putting everything together and getting everything working. And
Yeah.
But as long as we have it working for this summer, when we get some students here, we'll be happy.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, and get ready for the next video coming next week.